Good morning, guys. I'm sorry it's taking me so long to do this, but I've had a lot to learn and I wanted to share a little bit of that with you. This is my daughter, Caitlin. She's going to be on the call with us this morning. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about how to upgrade your homes. So I know, like with Tammy, we did a lot of things like cleaning out our closets and wiping it down with lemon water and all that. But I've been working a little bit with Darren and also some of my clients and my friends as well. We've been talking about how important it is to have that safe energy in your home. And I was working with my friend Karen. I was giving her a massage, and she's like, "I wish that you could just like chakra balance your house and just make all the bad energy go away." And I was like, "Well, that seems doable. You should be able to do that. You could totally do that." And so I've been working on a program to help people do this. And so part of what we do is recognizing what's going on in your home. So if you have a pen and paper, go ahead and get that out. I want you to go through, we're going to go through 7 areas, and I'm going to relate each of these to the chakras. So there's 7 chakras starting here. You're the perfect little model. You ready? Can you stand up for a sec? Stand up. Oh, good girl. So we're starting right here, right by her hips. This is the root chakra. And then we'll go up to the sacral chakra. The solar plexus is like right underneath her ribs. Then your heart chakra, the throat chakra. Do we like our throat chakra? Your third eye and your crown. She just barely woke up. So with each of those, so your root chakra has to do with your physical survival. And so as we relate that to our home, you can imagine how if it's not feeling rooted, if it's not grounded in the physical experience of taking care of you and your family, it might have some issues and it might have a little bit of off energy. And so the first thing, that I want to talk about is how to bring that energy up. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to give it a place so it's not overwhelmed. So I would encourage you to go through your home and get rid of at least 10 things over the next week and see how much lighter and more energetic your home feels when it's not weighed down by that physical burden of having so many things around. Places where this seems to be centered is your kitchen. Your basement is a huge one. Any of your like air ducts tends to have a lot of that root energy. So something else to do is if you have a good vacuum, stick it down your vents and vacuum them out really good so that you can have a clear center, a clear foundation to having your home. If your air quality isn't good, you won't feel the peace and that root grounding that you're going to feel otherwise. You can also look, your pantry is a really good place that might reflect your chakra energy. And that is because if you look in there, you can see if it's all fresh or if it's all processed or if you have some fresh stuff in there that's rotated out regularly. You want to have movement in all of your chakras. So you want movement through your rooms. Next is your sacral chakra, and that has to do with your relationship with yourself. And in your homes, it's the relationship of how it's taking care of the individual. So take a good look at your bathrooms. And also your creative centers. So, your toy room or your crafting room. It's where we express our individuality. So as we're getting ready for the day, your makeup is out on the counter, your curling irons. Are these things out, or are they put away? How is it caring for you? And is it constantly managed? Is it being constantly managed? Because your self-care is important. And that's what allows us to have that interaction. Because when we take care of ourselves, our home is able to take care of itself progressively, then we have a higher level of... You want breakfast? Okay, hang on just a minute.
I want
okay, honey. So we want to, lost train of thought, focus on our relationships with ourselves and like how our home is taking care of us. That would be our sacral energy. And so making sure that you have all your items put away, if it's your makeup, if it's your curling iron, or making sure that your bathroom is clean and tidy so you don't have, go and wipe down the seats, go wipe down the sinks. That allows you to have a higher level of care and feeling of confidence if your bathrooms are clean. Okay, hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, continuing. My daughter really needed breakfast. So next thing is the solar plexus. And so that has to do with our self-discipline, our confidence, our self-esteem. And so these are going to be the places that that are more hidden. So areas like our laundry rooms, our bathrooms again. Take a look at those and see how you're caring for yourself, and how, like, even your closet, is it jam-packed with clothes that you don't wear, or is it neatly organized, and is this who you want to be? And as you're doing each of these assignments in these areas to look at is going to help you bring your home into more order, because as your home is supporting you and you're supporting your home, that relationship grows and you're able to expound beyond the bounds of your home. So take a look at your bathrooms again, take a look at your laundry room. Is the dryer cleaned out? Like, is the lint trapped, vacuumed? Have you looked at like the inside ring? I have front loader washers. And so like that rubber seal, if I notice that if I don't clean that out regularly, like my laundry room doesn't have that same welcoming experience that I have otherwise. So go and wipe down and wipe out the outside of your washer and dryer. I had a friend come over, we worked out this morning, and she's like, "Oh man, you have a pretty washer and dryer." And I looked at it and I was like, "Oh, I do." Like, but I'd wiped it down last week, and it's a pretty red washer and dryer, and it's just beautiful. And she was able to see that partly because I uncoated the dust. Then we're going to talk about the heart chakra. This has to do with your love and your relationships with others, and your higher power. So this one has a lot to do with like your dining areas. Anytime that you sit down and you eat with someone, you will find that you're opening your heart. And so take a look. If you have an eat-in kitchen, make sure that your counters are wiped down. Make sure that your table is presentable. If you have a dining room, make sure that that is aired. So something that you can do is put a diffuser in there and just bring up that frequency. Add some essential oils to it, or going in and wiping down the walls with lemon or orange. You want to have it be a very subtle essential oil, because if it's too overpowering, then you're not going to enjoy your food as much as you would if it were just a passive scent that you're not going to notice as you're eating. You don't want to confuse your senses. This has everything to do with like nurturing relationships. And so if you go in there, something more for you to do is to actually go in and set an intention for that space you'll have happy, healthy relationships, that you will have your family meet there often and regularly. And I've noticed something with my family. Sometimes I just get kids food and I'm like, okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to hurry and finish like wiping down this, or I'm going to take 3 seconds and respond to this client or that. And then I'm not sitting down and I'm not truly enjoying having a meal with my children. So make sure that you're present as you're in that space, whether it's for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a snack, or, you know, maybe it's helping your kids with your homework at the kitchen table. It's important to be present in that space. It's important to be present in all your spaces, but especially there as you're nurturing those relationships, you want to raise that awareness. Throat chakra. This has everything to do with how you express yourself and being authentically true to your voice. So if I go out and say that I love being around people 100% of the time, that's not actually true. I love being around people. I'd probably say 80-90% of the time. It's amazing. It empowers me. But there is that 10%, 10-20% where I need to be in my own space and I need to just have that peace and that quiet. And so recognizing what your authentic voice is, what you truly love and experience, and being able to communicate that is going to help you raise that. And in your home, you're going to look around at your study. You're going to look at your communication devices. So look at your computer, look at your phones, look at your tablets, and see how you're communicating with the world. Something for you to do is to look at your emails. And if they're really full, you may want to back off and just take a few days or whatever it takes to organize that email so that it's not so overwhelming. Because when our communication gets bogged up and down and just it captures here, and then you'll find it's more difficult to express what's going on with your life. And it also affects your home. And you notice it's not reflecting who you truly are or who your family is. And you'll notice that if your communication is backed up, your home is heavier and it's harder to keep clean. Just overall, because you don't have that expression. Especially if someone comes over and is in your space. I notice this especially with my kids. I'll have friends come over, and if I'm not in a space where I'm like, no, this is clear, this is concise, this is what I want, and I'm authentic, then they leave, and even if they cleaned, it's like not up to par. And so you want to make sure that you're having that authentic expression so they know what to expect and help you maintain your home, because as guests, they do have that responsibility to, at least in my home, to pick up the toys and to put them back in their space after they're done using them. Finally, I'm noticing, sorry guys. Oh, sorry, I had a smudge on my camera. Third eye. We're going to talk about your spiritual center, your library, your office space again. Anywhere that you study is going to have to do with your third eye, which has everything to do with your wisdom, your education, your spiritual devotion, and your knowledge of or control of life in general. If you have this relationship with your education, with your progress that is bogged down, you're not going to progress as quickly as if you cleared it and moved forward. So looking at these spaces and making sure that your library is dusted, that your study is put together, and that you know where all your paperwork is going to really open up your third eye and allow you to express your wisdom more effectively. So especially as entrepreneurs, we want to have a very clear office space. and a library that allows us to find information quickly. Your spiritual center, if you are a scripture studier, or if you study inspirational quotes, or just heroes, or any of that, you're going to want to have that space where you are studying be clear, because it will help you learn it that much more quickly. Finally, the crown. That has to do, at least for me, with it has to do with unity and your group consciousness. And so for me, the main areas that focuses are my front door and living room and my bedroom, because those are the spaces that I have that group consciousness the most, and the unity with my husband. So I want to make sure that my bedroom is clean. It's funny, we went for growing up, I would make my bed every single day. And then I got married, and my husband says, "Why? We're just going to get in it in a few more hours." And I was like, "Oh, I guess that's true." And so I kind of let it go, because he was like adamant he was not going to make the bed. And I was like, it's not that big of a deal. Like I change the sheets every week and a half, 2 weeks. And so I was always good about changing the sheets still, because that was important to me. And I noticed that I just didn't feel as put together as I would carry on my day. And finally I was like, "Hun, even if I come home at 3:00 in the afternoon and make my bed, I'm going to make my bed." And at the time I would leave at 5:30 in the morning, and I would work until 1:30. I'd go to class, and then I'd get home about 3:30. And so I started doing this, and he's like, "Well, okay, whatever." So for 10 years, I made my bed without my husband. And then this last year, I shifted the energy, and I shifted that space, and my husband made our bed. Like I got up, and I had a client at 6 in the morning. He was still in bed. He left at 6:30, and I went in at 7 after my client left, and I was like, "My bed is made." And that unity that I felt with him just shot through the roof. Like, we have a good relationship, but it was so much better when he took that was important to me and recognized it and moved it forward and supported me in that. And so it's little things that create unity in your room. You know, making sure that your side tables are cleared off, and that they're supporting you as a couple. Whether if you put things in the drawer that like bills and things, that doesn't exactly, like, I got something in the mail saying, "Do you want to have insurance for like water and sewer?" I guess. And it's been on my side table, because I was talking to him about that, and that was like where I could. And it sat on my side table, and I saw that this morning, and I felt my energy just shifted subtly, and I was like, "Okay, that's going out of my room." I took it out, and the energy shifted, and my husband made our bed before we left. Like, I had my half done, and he finished making it. So the unity grows as you find your expression, and as you have key points that allow you to have that unity, whether it's cleaning your room, making sure your dressers and tables are cleared off, any of that, we're going to raise that vibration. So I'm going to encourage you over this next week to look at your home. You're going to do some decluttering and cleaning. If you can, this was something that was awesome. My friend and I went through and measured our home. So she measured hers, and I measured mine, and she created a blueprint for me. And just the relationship with my home, it might sound funny, but I talk to my house all the time, and he's my buddy, and we do stuff to help my family. And so measuring it gave me a better understanding of what he's capable of. And he was really smug about it, guys. It was really funny. Like, my friend tried to measure my room for me while I was herding the 7 children. She has 5. I have 4, and we had 7 children. I had another friend bring some over. as we were doing this, and it was like utterly chaotic. And she's like, she went to go into my room to measure my closets, and she's like, Angela, your house doesn't want me to measure your closets. And I checked in, and she was right. Like, he wanted to have that relationship with me. So measure your own house. And if you have a friend that's amazing and can do blueprints, that's great. If not, then just draw it out and create a vision of what is going on in your home, like how you can utilize that space, because it shifts the relationship that you will have with it. But do your own measuring, because that's important. It builds that relationship. Going through, and after you've done that measuring, making sure that you have specific areas tied to specific things in your home. If it's the exercise room, don't confuse it with the study. If you do, then like if they're in the same room, that's okay, but keep them separate. Keep the exercise over here and the study over here, like however you want to do that. But go through and talk to your house and empower it and say, oh, I'm so happy. Like for my daughter's room, I went through and I was telling her, oh, this is such a good room for you. Like, look what good care it's taking of you. And you have perfect place for your side table, for your vanity, and your dresser's over there. This is just perfect for you, isn't it? And she's like, yeah. And my house went, yeah, I am. And going through each of these, it's really fun. So go and empower your home. As you do this, it's actually going to lift your energy and your frequency. And it's really exciting, actually. Giving it affirmations. So having affirmations specific to your home, like my home is a peaceful place to thrive and my home is a peaceful place for my family. We welcome visitors with ease and comfort, and so on and so forth. Stories, if you can recognize what it has done. My friend's home has had a lot of trauma. Before she bought it, they had a family that lived there that they did foster care. And so it had this belief system that it couldn't take care of children long term. Like they would come, they would leave. And as we recognize this, she's like, we went through and we were trying to figure out why she was feeling so restless in her home. And that was one of the belief systems that came up. And then we realized why. And the energy in her home has shifted from one of hurry, hurry, hurry to one of peace and just welcoming. So, and you may not be as aware of this as like she and I have been, because we've been doing this for actually a while. We just didn't realize what we were doing. That's okay. But if you'll do simple things like going in and talking to your room, even though it sounds funny, it's going to raise that vibration and that energy in your home so that it's more aware of what it is becoming. And it's going to make that connection with you, because your home is a reflection of who you are. So raise it up, bring that energy up, because it's powerful. So recognize your past, present, and future. So create a vision of what you want your house to become on every level: physical, emotional, spiritual, mental. Create that. And as you do that, you'll find it easier to create it for yourself as well. Communicate with it. So like, even if you don't hear it talk back, that's okay. You're going to tell it what you want to have it become. And as it hears your vision, it will allow itself to be molded in that vision more readily. So we're going to look, let's see really quick. Anytime that you can focus on what you see, hear, touch, taste, or smell in your home, then allow that to just be integrated into your home as a positive. If you smell something you don't want to, don't integrate that. But you want to raise that frequency and that vibration. So yeah, I hope you guys have fun with this. I've really had a lot of fun this past week, recognizing some of this and learning how to express it a little bit more. And so, yeah, have a wonderful week and love you guys. I'll see you later.